16th meeting of the Springfield Local School District School Board to order. Roll call.
Mrs. Collins.
Here.
Mr. Dinkins.
Here.
Mr. Hofer.
Here.
Mrs. Dodson.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This evening we have presentations. First is William Stauffer.
October is usually the month that I do our State of the Schools address. I'm going to be fairly short tonight. Typically what I like to talk about are the academics, facilities, and finance. And Chris is going to talk about finance too, so on the finance part I'll be short. But academics here in the district, we're doing very, very well. Some of the things that we have reinstated this year that we have not had for the past 5 years, guidance counselor at the elementary schools, and it's a part-time guidance counselor, but it's working quite well. We have Charlene Moss at both Roosevelt and Young. We have reinstated an art teacher at the elementary level, and that's been missing for several years. So we've brought both of those positions back. One of the other things that is new this year that we instituted is an online learning program that Steve Schaefer is going to talk about tonight. He's going to fill you in on some of the bumps in the road I'm sure that we've had. But ultimately it's going to be a great program for kids. We just need to be patient with it, I think. District-wide, we've increased the number of computers, laptops, iPads that the kids and staff are using. We're on the cutting edge with technology here in the district. Tomorrow, the state report card will be released. Here at Springfield, the results that we expect is that we have met 18 out of the 26 indicators. That's an increase of 2 indicators, so we did better this year. We also believe that we're going to be rated above in the value added category. Value added is very, very important. What that means is when we're rated above, it means that our students on average are making more than a year's growth in a year's time. What that means ultimately, we believe, and we'll find out for certain tomorrow, is that once again, we're an excellent district. So congratulations to our teaching staff, our classified staff, administrative team, Board of Education. Everybody's done a wonderful job here, and they've worked really, really hard to get that rating. It's not official yet, but we think we're excellent once again. That's 4 out of 5 years. That's a great accomplishment here. Facility-wise, the focal point of facilities in this district, as everybody knows, is the new building going up out front, the new 712 building. It's on time and it's on budget, and it's going to be magnificent. We've been doing tours with staff and some community people. When the tours have not been full, people have asked if they could come along, and they have. I can tell you 100% of the people have been impressed with the building, are thrilled to death. This community is so proud and excited about that new building going up. It's an inspiration. I never get tired of leading the tours because it's really neat to see all of the smiles. We do have some other tours that are coming up for the community, and I will talk about that at the end of the agenda tonight. This is going to be our final year of using Spring Hill Junior High School. It's going to be empty for a year as we renovate and get it ready to become an elementary school in 2014 and 15. Roosevelt at that point will be closed. And at this point, we haven't talked about what we're going to do about Roosevelt, and I'm sure that'll be part of our 5-year permanent improvement plan that we discuss. Schropp Intermediate School this summer received a new roof on a large portion of that building. This building more than likely is going to close at the end of this calendar year. As everybody knows, we've purchased a new administrative building at the corner of Killian and Maslin Road, and that'll be the new administrative office. So this building will close. This building actually is in the way with new construction. There's a driveway that kind of comes through here, so we're in the way, so we had to move. Bus facility wise, Our bus maintenance facility has closed down at this location. We're now out on Waterloo Road at the Kungle Trucking. So that move has taken place. Our new field house going up just to the south of us here, that will be ready for operation come January. So it's going to be done at Christmas time. So that facility is coming online very, very quickly here. The maintenance areas have been refaced down there, and they look like new from the outside. It's kind of amazing what you can do with some brick. And like I said, we're going to be having a work session coming up at the end of this month, and we're going to be developing a 5-year permanent improvement plan. Finance-wise, Chris is going to talk about our 5-year forecast, but our finances are good. Just about a year ago, if you remember, we came out of fiscal emergency. And one thing that Chris and I have said over and over is we're out of fiscal emergency and we're never going back. We've been good to our word and true to our word. Chris is going to talk about the 5-year forecast, and it looks very good. He's going to talk about spending. What I can tell you about spending is we spend less per pupil now than we did 6 years ago. When we said we watch every penny and we're going to spend wisely, we do. In fiscal year 2007, out of the 17 districts in Summit County, Springfield was number 5 in spending. 1 being the highest, 2 next. We were number 5 out of 17 as far as spending. Right now, we're number 14 out of 17. So we really have cut spending here, and that is why we're out of fiscal emergency. We watch every penny, and like I said, we're out of fiscal emergency, and we're never going back, are we? No. In summary, the district is doing really, really well here, and this is a great place for people to send their kids to be educated. Thank you. Any questions?
Well, I just had a question on technology. You know, I see a lot of our kids in the district, especially the young kids, they're using iPads, and our teachers using iPads. And I talked to other teachers. I had a conversation with a teacher in a Stark County district. And actually, she wasn't a teacher, she was in administrative. And I was telling her about our district and what we have and stuff. She was shocked. Mm-hmm. She says, when we think of Springfield, we don't think that it's, you know, technology-wise and stuff, you guys are really, you know, up to speed and stuff. She goes, you guys are better than most districts in the 5-county area. Mm-hmm. And can you talk a little bit about that compared to other districts, technology-wise and stuff? Because you meet with other superintendents and stuff. Because we're way ahead of the curve.
We are way ahead of the curve. We have lots of technology. Yeah, we're in a consortium for online learning, and Steve's going to talk about that today, and it's a consortium of Summit County schools, but we're really the only ones doing it. Other people said that they were interested. We're doing it. And like I said, it's been a steep learning curve for everybody, and we're going to learn as to what has worked well and what hasn't worked well, but we're doing it. The technology we have in this district, it's a result of the innovative administrative leadership that we have, teachers that are willing to learn the technology and use it in the classroom, and kids are all about technology. They know it better than we do. They're excited with it. It's neat to go in the classrooms and see teachers using technology and the motivating force that has on kids. And last but not least, Dustin Boswell sitting here. Without Dustin and his crew, we couldn't do it, but Dustin's always on the cutting edge, and he's always wanting to try new things and better technologies. He's like the kids, he's never afraid of it. And if it doesn't work for me or Chris, we just call Dustin and he'll fix it for us, so it's okay with us. But that's why we're on the cutting edge of technology. Other questions?
Now, just a comment that even in my work profession, computer and technology is dramatic in our use. I mean, I use a computer all the time, whether it's logging time or searching stuff on the internet for parts for a purchase order. This is a good thing.
Dustin, you want to comment about where we are with technology as compared to some other districts? He's our tech coordinator, and they meet monthly, other tech coordinators. I think we compare pretty favorably.
We absolutely do. I can say coming in to this position years ago, we were offering technology to teachers that, no, I'm not ready, I don't want that. And we've really worked hard on the instructional end of things to get those teachers involved. As Mr. Stauffer said, we can do a lot administratively and everything to try and get technology out there, but if the teachers aren't willing to utilize that, then we're just putting hardware out in classrooms and it doesn't do any good. So we really worked hard to get those teachers excited and teaching them new and innovative ways that they can use that technology in their classroom. And it's really helped catch on, and now we get the teachers more excited and they're asking for more things and wanting to do things and learning things on their own and so on. But yeah, definitely, you know, as you said, you know, a lot of districts don't think of us as being on the cutting edge, and sitting in monthly meetings with tech coordinators from other districts, you know, they're talking about implementing things that we did 2, maybe 3 years ago.
Right.
You know, you still find a lot of districts that are talking about maybe next year they're going to implement Google Docs, which we've been using for 4 years. 4 years now. I mean, it's pretty much commonplace around our district for people to be using Google Docs and collaborative tools like that. And I find a lot of other districts that are just now looking to maybe do that next year. So.
Right. I think too, with the technology that we've had in the classrooms the last few years, it's my understanding that the testing for the third graders and stuff coming up, is it this year, where it's all going to be on the computer?
Not this year.
Next year?
Next year.
2 years.
In 2 years. So, you know, we're getting our kids trained for that, you know, ahead of the curve.
And when they say on the computer, they're just saying have internet access. It doesn't necessarily have to be a computer that they'll take those tests on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. One other thing about our district report card, like I said, we're fairly confident that we are excellent, and I think in our hearts we all know that we're excellent no matter what the scores say. But we hit 18 out of those 26 indicators this year. We were really, really close on 4 others. At 7th grade, you need 75% as the standard to be passing. For 7th grade math, we were 74.5. 10th grade science, you need 75%. We were 71.9. 11th grade, you need 85%. In science, we were 84.8. Social studies, 83.6. So 18 out of 26 sounds pretty good, but could easily have been 22. So the teachers have done a wonderful job. They have worked so hard to prepare our kids for those achievement tests.
Right.
So I see Denise sitting here. Thank you for everything that you and our teaching staff does.
And then, of course, you brought us on board with technology.
We are.
We're not quite as adept at it as the kids are.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I was gonna say. hold
I'm
on.
not. Okay.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, our next person is Chris Adams, Treasurer's Report.
I'm going to be discussing the 5-year forecast, and then I'm going to break it down into 2 areas, revenues and expenditures. And I think the board already has this. I'll hand out as many as I can, but this will really cement what we've been talking about in this district, what we've done with expenditures. What you have in front of you is a snapshot of the 16, 17 districts in Summit County. This information is not created by me, it's created by the Ohio Department of Education, and it's a per pupil expenditure. So it takes all your costs that you have and it divides by how many children you have, and it gives you a per pupil expenditure. And I took it back from 2012, hasn't come out yet, so it's basically looking from 2011 back to 2006. And you can see what the other districts around us are doing. Their per pupil expenditures up. We are the only one in Summit County that actually went down from 2011 and 2006. Now, obviously, being in fiscal emergency had something to do with that, but not all. You know, we have under the leadership of Mr. Stauffer, we've really diligently have hammered on our expenditures, and this is proof of just that. I mean, when you think back in 2006, we were spending 9721, and now we're spending 9701, and you can look up to the top, and a district was spending 10,908, and now they're spending $14,032 per pupil. So that was really something that struck on me when I was doing some research. Now, there's 615 schools in the state of Ohio. There's only 28 schools like us that actually have spent less than they did back in 2006, which is a little over 4%. So we're in the top 4% in managing our expenditures. And that's really all we can do. When you focus on the 5-year forecast, I'm going to focus on the revenue side, because that's the frustrating part. We have done our part. We have controlled our expenditures. We've done stuff that the 96% of the other districts can't do. But I think we all, during this political season that we're in right now, and how does that relate to a school district? Well, you hear the term fiscal cliff. You've been hearing it all over the press. And the fiscal cliff is going to occur, if it does occur. Meaning if the federal government doesn't, if the parties don't come together and do some kind of budget bill and let the tax cuts and all the other provisions expire at the end of the year, the Springfield Local School District is going to be hurt. And how it's going to be hurt is you're going to have Title I funding cut, you're going to have IDEA funding cut, you're going to have the federal rebates that we get back from the bond, the Q-Scoobies, they could go away. So basically, and then you take that into consideration, and then we have an unprecedented amount of properties that are being challenged down at Summit County. I mean, I sent it to Bill, I think he sent it to the board, and in particular, commercial buildings. So when you're driving around Springfield and you see the Taco Bells and you see these other warehouses, everybody is challenging their valuation. All the owners of these buildings. And I guess if I was sitting in their shoes, I would do the same. I mean, if they said my house is worth $100,000 and I can't sell it for $50,000, it's time to challenge your valuation. Well, that's happening in Springfield local schools to the tune of about $400,000 to $500,000 a year in reduced revenue. State funding. Historically, state funding in the state of Ohio had increased at about 2.2% a year. It's actually going to go down. I'm hoping, that the state of Ohio is actually rebounding. We're one of the few states in the union that's actually turning around. Unemployment's going down. Our coffers are filling up. We expect probably to have close to $1 billion in the state coffers. We're hoping that education at least gets what they got before, or maybe even a slight increase. With all that said, we're still very well. Our cash reserves are going to end the year well over $7 million. And considering we were a couple million in the hole not too far back, we're in better shape now than when we got out of fiscal emergency. We're good through 2016. Now the challenge is to get us through 2017. But as far as forecasts go, there's not many districts in the state of Ohio that are pretty healthy through for the next 4 years, in spite of federal funding, state funding, local funding, all being either cut or being challenged. If we didn't do on the expenditure side of the equation what we did, what Bill said is we're never going to go back into fiscal emergency. I don't know if I'd have been squirming a little bit in my chair. But we did what we had to do, and so overall, even in spite of the revenue side of the equation, our 5-year forecast is a good one. Any questions?
Chris, the issues that we're dealing with, everybody's dealing with. This isn't unique to Springfield.
Correct.
Everybody's dealing with
Right.
these issues. So you're going to have to attack the expenditure side, and that's not easy to do, because as a treasurer and as a superintendent and as a high school principal, especially and a grade school principal, the people that are on the front lines, I mean, that's what my father did for a living, the principals. They understand better than probably all of us what their teachers need, what their students need, and it's difficult. It's very difficult for a treasurer to say no all the time. It's like I'm at home with my 4 sons, you know. It's not easy, nor should it be, because it's children that we're dealing with here. So all I implore our politicians on a state and local and a national level to understand that public education is here to stay. It's 85% of our kids in this country go to public education, so I'm hoping that something gets worked out. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris. Our next presentation is Kevin Vaughn, and he will give us a presentation on the fall athletics.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good to see everybody. I have some dates to remember and things of that nature, but before we get started with that, I just kind of want to bring everybody up to speed with some things that are going on with each individual sport that make up the fall season. And we're going to start with golf. Our boys golf team, under Jack Morgan, they placed 4th this year in the regular season for the Portage Trail Conference, which was an improvement from years past, and even more impressive, I think they improved as the season went on, and it showed as they went to the end of the year tournament. They took 2nd place. So great job with our boys golf team. And with that 2nd place finish, we had a couple kids that were recognized as honorable mention, one being Nick Hurd and 2 being Drew Scheck. So we had 2 students recognized, or athletes recognized in the conference as they went on to a 2nd place finish. Our girls golf, not in the Portage Trail Conference, we were actually in the Greater Akron Girls Golf League. It's a league that we don't have girls golf in the Portage Trail Conference, so some independent schools that do have girls golf, we all kind of came together and created that league. So our girls placed 5th in the regular season for the Greater Akron Girls Golf League, and again, as the season went on, they improved, and when it came to the end of the year tournament, they had a 3rd place finish. Coach Lori Henry doing a great job as a first-year coach with the golf girls, and big shoes to fill under longtime Dodie Zabuka. And I know that the girls are having a great time, and they really enjoy being around Coach Henry. Some Greater Akron Girls Golf League recognition included Kara Hathaway. She received 1st team. She had an outstanding year as a senior. And we also had Deanna Cole, who's a sophomore, who received 2nd team. And with their positive play, they also qualified, not as a team, but as individuals out of sectionals, and they played in district play. They represented well. They didn't have enough, or I guess what it takes to get it done to go to the next level, but represented the team well, and we're real proud of them. When they competed on October 2nd. Next, our soccer team had an outstanding regular season with an overall record of 10-4-2. Even at the end there, they were at a push for a Portage Trail Conference championship, and they had some great competition along the way with having Kent Roosevelt, who has a storied program with their soccer, and then to Coventry as well. That they didn't quite finish the way that they wanted, but a great season overall. They finished up 4-3 in the Portage Trail Conference. They represented the league well as far as getting recognition with our all-league selection this past weekend. We had 3 first-teamers, all seniors. Caleb Moy was a first-team middle fielder. Brody Westover was a first-team defender, and Eric Kennedy was a first-team forward for the Portage Trail Conference. We also had Dehan Vusin, who was a second-team forward, and then we have our 2 honorable mention being Jeremiah Campbell, who's a senior, and junior Colton Westover. So outstanding job representing Springfield in the soccer Portage Trail Conference. They compete tonight, actually, for sectional. 7 o'clock right here against Coventry, who they just played last Tuesday. So it will be an interesting matchup, and I think the kids are really excited for it. And we're excited to get over there after the meeting. So one thing I thought that was nice, we've had a couple of new coaches in the soccer program at the junior high level, and they've worked well with Mario and with the kids, and everybody's really excited with the effort that Coach Polo Paredes and they call him Coach Willie. It's Guillermo Marroquin. But they do a lot of extras with the kids to keep them interested in soccer and bring them along the way. This year, the entire junior high, through the high school soccer program, they both had the opportunity to take a trip down to Columbus. What they did is they went as a team. They watched the Columbus Crew play. They went down on the field. I have pictures that, speaking of technology, I think we do a pretty good job with our athletic newsletter and technology, and we get it in before the fall season is over, so I'm going to send some things for some updates, some pictures and stuff like that we can add to that. But they had a great time with that, and also the junior high took a trip down to Malone University and actually had a full Saturday and practiced with the Malone Pioneers. So doing outstanding things in the soccer program, I think, and the kids are enjoying it. Volleyball highlights include the team overall. They've improved on their record from last year to this, and I think it's Coach Mazinetz, who is in the building now as a teacher both at the junior high and the high school. She does an outstanding job with the girls, and I see it, and I talk with the girls, and I know they're having a lot of fun, and I think they're getting better, and because they're having fun, you're seeing it in their play on the court. But on October 8th, something I think that's very important for our girls. They do every year, but they were involved in and hosted the Volley for the Cure, or this year was called the Dig Pink game. And they hosted North on that evening, and both our JV and varsity won. So that was icing on the cake. The team raised roughly $800 to go to the Side Out Foundation for breast cancer research. So obviously, great job with the girls and the coaches, and Michelle Hanna plays a part in that, and all the community that came out and supported that night as well. The volleyball team competes in their first sectional game tomorrow night, which is Wednesday at Talmadge High School, 7 p.m. And they will be competing against East High School. And, from the looks of it, we think we match up well, and we're hoping to get our first sectional win since, I believe, 1999. So good positive look for the Spartan volleyball team. We recognize those seniors on October 9th, along with our soccer seniors on October 9th. And as far as league recognition goes, we had Sam Karras and Jamie Alcorn named honorable mention this past Sunday to the PTC. Cross country, both boys and girls finished 6th place in the PTC, and that was an improvement from last year. We had a few students recognized, and it goes by how you finish. It's not just a vote or a selection. It's how you finish in the races is where you place and where you receive your recognition. We had James Williams of the males receive the second team, and David Carlin and John Martin were named honorable mention. In the girls, we had Megan Metco and Lisa Stout were named honorable mention. And our girls compete this Saturday at Goodyear in the district meet at 1 o'clock. Football, right now our focus is on improvement, and we have a long way to go, and that's no secret. We just want to try and get better each week and gain experience, and I know we're getting towards the end of the season, but we still have 2 weeks to try and improve, and those are our goals. We have a young team, and we're battling through a lot of injuries. Right now we are officially 2-6, but unofficially we are 1-7. I know there was a lot of talk about the forfeit that Ellett had to go through at the beginning of the year, and it's unfortunate for them, but it's what had to take place. The team and the staff, we hosted a football clinic for the youth in July, and we had great participation for that camp. We had about 72 youth football players come out for that camp, and with the staff and the players being involved and everybody working together, it's a very, very nice atmosphere, and a lot of kids having a lot of fun and also learning at the same time. We also hosted Youth Night at the stadium prior to the Streetsboro game on September 21st. And this was to recognize all our youth football players and youth cheerleaders, and one of our youth teams will actually be playing this Saturday here at the high school at 3 p.m., and that is our A team. So the original plan was to have every group play, but for one reason or another, they felt more comfortable playing at their home field. So, and then it was going to be under the lights, but Hudson time frame didn't work out. They couldn't play at 6 o'clock, so we're playing at the regular time. And lastly, our cheer squad, they've done an outstanding job as always, to start off the year. In addition to spending time on the sideline, they're also running that Sparkle program, which they do once a week, and getting everybody involved. They also have done a good job spreading Spartan spirit to all ages. They hosted the traveling and organized the traveling pep assembly. That was on Thursday, September 20th, and they went to every school in the district, and we always get nothing but positive feedback from that. And I know all the young kids have a lot of fun, as well as the cheerleaders plus the senior athletes and band members that participate. We also had the cheerleaders orchestrate the homecoming bonfire pep rally, which is always a good time. And last Thursday, the squad hosted a youth cheer clinic at Young Elementary, getting involved with the young kids, and they go from 5th, 6th grade all the way down to girls that aren't even in school yet. So it was exciting. I actually went out because my daughter showed up. She thought she was going to partake, and we were uncertain, and she did not. A lot of crying, but it was nice to see the girls working with the young. And those youth girls also cheered at the game Friday night for the first quarter on the sideline with the varsity. So overall, it's winding down, and we have 2 games left in football, and obviously sectional play is here with soccer and volleyball, and that means fall is coming to an end. Just some dates to remember. I've already mentioned we recognized our seniors on October 9th for soccer and volleyball. October 19th, which is this Friday, we have cheerleading, cross country, football, golf for both boys and girls. Senior recognition at the football game at 7 o'clock. On the 20th, I already mentioned about the district tournament for our cross country. And November 14th, we have fall sports recognition. 5:30 will be refreshments, and 6 p.m. Will be the awards. And just to touch on winter sports, October 26th, girls basketball officially begins. And November 2nd, boys basketball along with bowling for boys and girls officially begins. And then we have wrestling November 9th, and then we're going to have our mandatory parent meeting on November 19th. So the school year's underway, and the Spartans are just trying to get better in the athletic department. And that's about it.
Winter season's coming quick.
Coming
Yes,
quick.
it is.
Kevin, Friday night for the recognition for the fall athletes. I know the game starts at 7. What time does recognition start for them?
Off the top of my head, Michelle Hanna usually puts the agenda together, but I believe it's in the neighborhood of around 6:15, 6:20.
In case people want to come to recognize our athletes.
Yeah,
Be here a little bit early that night.
And actually, buses will start early that night due to it's a little bit busier with all the band and everybody getting recognized, and we always request buses to start about 4:30, 4:45 opposed to 5:30.
Thanks.
Thank you. And I'm going to head out if you don't mind, so I have coverage of the game.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Kevin. Next, we have Steve Schaefer, and he's going to give us an online learning presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Hey, sorry I didn't have enough to hand out to everybody, but I just kind of wanted to get everybody up to date on what's going on with the online learning program here at Springfield High School. This initiative started way before I was hired with Mr. Stauffer and Ms. Frola. It was determined by the county superintendent and our local superintendents that there was a need to help students out especially at-risk students. A lot of our at-risk students will fail a course maybe once, twice, and when we see that, obviously the traditional classroom is not working in their benefit. So we needed to offer them another option so they could succeed. And currently, we have 34 students participating in the online learning program. We have taken the lead in the county. The next closest district has 5 students participating in online learning. And no, it's just us and another district right now. As Mr. Stauffer said when this initiative started, all the schools were on board and were eager to get going at it, but we're really the only one right now that is pushed forward and taking the initiative to embrace this. And we talk about technology and how far we've come with our technology here in the district, and this just shows we've gone that extra step. Okay, online learning is something that has not been embraced fully by public educators. It's kind of been seen as the enemy. And, students have left our district to go to online learning academies, ECOT, just to name one. And when we lose those students, we lose the funding too, correct? So this is good because we get to keep our students here. They get a Springfield diploma if they graduate, which is really what we want. We want our students to get a Springfield diploma. We want them to graduate from here. And we want to provide them with that opportunity. And this enables us to provide them with that opportunity. Like I said, we have 34 part-time online learning students, which means they're also combining the online learning with their regular classes. Okay? We also have 3 students who are taking the part-time online courses at home, which means they are not coming here. They are doing that at home for various reasons. So it gives a little more flexibility for some of our students. Like I said, a lot of our at-risk students are not what we call traditional learners. Okay, and so we got to kind of make some modifications and adaptations to service their needs. So this is allowing us to do that. And right now, we're primarily focused on credit recovery. We have a lot of students that are not on track to graduate. And by enabling them to take online courses and to receive credit, we will get them caught back up and on track to graduate on time. So that's the beauty of this. And we would eventually like to see this evolve into a blended learning curriculum where teachers are combining their classroom curriculum with the online learning. So a student may go to the teacher's class 3 days a week and may do online learning 2 days a week. That's eventually what we'd like to see this maybe blossom into or evolve into. And right now, Central Ohio is really way ahead of Northern Ohio in this. There's a lot of schools in the Columbus area that have really gone forward with this, and they're making great strides. And this is something that's kind of new for schools in Northeast Ohio. And like I said, right now, everybody's looking at us because we're up, we're running. There were some problems at the beginning. Whenever you start something new that there's not a lot of knowledge about, you're going to have bumps in the road. And I think there was such a mass marketing campaign that this company put out that we're using, Connexus, that they just didn't have the support for all the people that they had signed up for their online learning. But all those problems have been solved. We have a lady that works with us through the county, and she works strictly with the Summit County schools, and she's there to help us out and assist us whenever we need it. What I handed you guys was a brochure that we'll be distributing to parents who are interested in having their student participate in online learning. The only thing I want to make note of is it says K through 12. Right now we're just 9 through 12 offering the online learning. Eventually this is something though that we could offer K through 12. Okay, we'd really like to expand maybe into the junior high next year and offer some online learning classes to the junior high students, and those are all things we're exploring. We'd also like to look into flex credit, which means if a student wants to take a class that we don't offer here, he could take that online and get credit for that. And that'd really be beneficial for our post-secondary students. So we see that as an option, and as we said, a blended learning option is something we'd like to explore further too. But a lot of professional development and training needs to go into that with our teachers before we get to that level. So that's kind of just to sum it up in a nutshell. Do you guys have any questions as far as
I do, Steve. I know this is probably even further down the road than you're talking, but, we have a lot of homeschooled kids in our district and a lot of districts. Is the plan eventually to have a full-blown curriculum where those homeschool kids could register with us, homeschool using our online system, and they are Springfield students? Because then we would get the funding.
Sure.
And I think also one of the benefits would be for the student is that they would get to participate in Springfield athletics,
Correct.
which a lot of homeschool groups don't offer that.
Correct.
Is this going to be a curriculum where we can offer, hey, you can homeschool through Springfield local schools?
Yeah.
So I think that's huge.
And we will try to reach out to those students that we know are being homeschooled and say, hey, we have this option. We have this alternative. This is something, you might want to think about. Like I said, you'll get the Springfield diploma. Your son or daughter can participate in athletics or extracurricular activities here at the school. So I think those are all major selling points in favor of an online learning program.
Because these numbers are huge. We have over $700,000 leaving our district every year to charter schools. And this program is, I think, $450 a student. You get one student in, you get $6,000, it costs you $450. You spend a little money to save, to get a lot of extra revenue, and I think that's the thrust from the county. Is public education is just sick and tired of sending millions and millions and millions. To
I mentioned this to this family that I know that they homeschool their kids, and just briefly talked with Mr. Stauffer and stuff, and they were like jumping all over it. They couldn't believe it. You mean we can do homeschool in a public education, with a public education district and get the benefits of public education when it comes to extracurriculars, but still homeschool?
Right.
I said that could be eventually what would happen. They couldn't believe it. They were ecstatic.
Yeah, right now it's baby steps, but yeah,
Right.
Ultimately, that's what we'd like to see happen.
Because online learning's not going away. I mean, this is something that's here to stay, and it's not leaving. Okay, it's just going to gain more popularity. It's going to, it's something we need to embrace. And like I said, I think we've shown that we are taking the initiative, and we are leading Summit County into this endeavor.
I think what Steve has learned is some of the online classes, the curriculum that the kids are taking, it is not an easy curriculum.
There is some rigor involved in this. It's not just get on the computer and click, click, click. You'll go through, just like you go into a classroom, you're going to have daily lessons. You have daily activities, daily assignments that you have to turn in to an online learning coach. And they're all graded. You have portfolio assessments. So there is some rigor to this. I'm really confident if a student passes this online learning course, they are actually learning something. It's just not click, 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 and I got through it and didn't learn anything. So there is some rigor involved in this online learning program.
And I think that's been some of the learning curve with some of the kids who have struggled a little bit. I think that they thought that it was going to be a piece of cake.
Yeah.
And it's not. And it's not.
It's not.
Yeah, they have to be somewhat self-motivated and be willing to do some assignments, but it's very attainable for all our students. And the grades are slowly coming up. I mean, we're really seeing some improvement in the last couple weeks.
Steve, do we provide them with the computer?
No, currently we do not provide them with computers.
Okay, so
and like I said, out of the 34, 31 of them are doing it here in conjunction with their other courses. So, we provide them with the computers here at school to work on that, but they can access all this online at home too, and do it at home if they have internet access on a computer.
So they don't spend the full day at school on a computer.
Nope.
They come in, do their schoolwork online, and
Yep.
then go home.
Well, like a student maybe has study hall and
Okay.
needs to receive some credit recovery, then during his study hall, he'll come, log on, get set up, and do his online learning during that study hall.
So this may be students that, it's kind of like intervention, where they may not be able to make these up
Correct.
in a regular setting, and so we're offering this, and we may have lost them at some point.
Yeah, and that was the goal, is to help kids graduate.
Right.
Because we all know without a high school diploma, it's very, very difficult for kids to succeed in life. This is just our way to try to intervene and help those students.
Yeah,
Because
and we've
once they
already
get
had
behind-
two students,
It's okay.
two students have gotten their health credits already in 6 weeks. But they were they kept at it and they worked hard, and so it's really self-paced. I mean, a student, if they're motivated and ambitious and want to get it done, they can get it done. It's self-paced. It could take 4 weeks. It could take 6. It could take 9. But all students have to finish a semester course in a semester, and then we move on from there.
And the beauty of it is they can work on it at school, but they can also work on it at home.
Right. And their parents have access to their grades and their curriculum and their lessons, and that's been a benefit too.
I just want to thank Steve. The program is where it is right now. We're leading the county because of Steve's hard work. He's worked very, very hard to get kids enrolled into that program. I know that he's made lots and lots of phone calls to parents to motivate kids. Steve, thank you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, and like I said, I think it's something that's going to be really beneficial to our system and our kids. Like I said, those kids you might have lost before, they go in their senior year and they're 4 classes behind. They still have that opportunity now to make those classes up and can graduate. So.
Right.
Steve, when you talk about blended, we were talking about blended, that could also apply to homeschooled, like you're talking about. If a parent is strong in history or whatever, but not as strong in English and things like that, could that be part of it to where they're getting part of the courses online?
Yeah, and
on
when
a
we talk
homeschool setting?
When we talk blended right now, the model that's been used throughout the state has been in conjunction with a classroom teacher. Okay. Classroom teacher sets up a curriculum that's going to accommodate online learning and classroom instruction. That's really the traditional model. As far as it being used with home instruction, it's still not a lot of information out there on that.
It would probably be better if they were being homeschooled to have the full curriculum at their disposal.
Yeah, yeah, I would say. Because those kids, probably wouldn't be coming into school 3 times a week or every day.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
very much.
Like
Thanks,
Kevin, I've got a open gym to attend, so.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank you.
again, Steve.
All right, next we have Ann Phillips and Denise Denzek. Race to the Top presentation.
Alrighty, thank you. Tonight I'm going to talk a few minutes about SLOs, which are Student Learning Objectives. And we know under OTES, the new teacher evaluation system, that 50% of teacher evaluation will be based on student achievement. And SLOs is one way to measure student achievement. And the nice thing about SLOs is they can be used to show growth no matter what the teacher teaches, whether or not they're standardized tests in that course. They can be used to show growth with any type learning situation. And the SLOs are measurable long-term academic growth targets that a teacher sets at the beginning of the year, either for all students or it could be for certain subgroups of students. And the SLOs demonstrate a teacher's impact on the student learning within a certain time frame. Usually it's a school year, however long the class goes. And there are 6 different things that should be included in a high-quality SLO. And the first one would be the student population or the subgroup, and every student should be covered by at least one SLO. The second thing is the standards that the SLOs address, and they should be specific, either national or state standards for that grade or that content. Third, it would cover the assessments which are used, which should be formative, which track the student's progress and also allows teachers to make corrections during the course, as well as summative, which would indicate if those objectives were met for that course. Fourth, they should cover a certain time frame, which would be the length of the course, usually a whole school year. For some courses, it might be a semester, depending on what the course is. It would cover the expected student growth during that time, which should be realistic but also challenging. And then last, it should have the rationale for the expected student growth, which would include justifications why the goal is important and why it's achievable for that group of students. And ODE recommends the following 6 steps when using SLOs. First, They would review the baseline data, and then second, create the SLOs. Thirdly, obtain SLO approval, which would be a local process. Fourth, monitor the process towards the attainment of the target. Fifth, revise the SLOs if necessary. And then lastly, review the evidence and evaluate the progress towards the growth targets. So in closing, these student learning objectives, which are SLOs, provide teachers with input as to student learning, how it will be measured, plus also how teachers will be evaluated, part of that 50% teacher evaluation. And Ms. Phillips passed out the sheet about SLOs so that if you have any questions, you can look over that at your convenience. Thank you, Ms. Phillips, for doing that.
The handout that Denise met was the one that's stapled, and you can read about those a little bit later. The form I'm going to talk about is the one that has all the large things on it. If you look on the bottom, it says Race to the Top, and Race to the Top supports all of these things. I kind of threw in one a little extra, but technically it does support it. It just didn't exist at the time. So I'm going to start up at the top where it says RIMP. And RIMP stands for Reading Improvement Monitoring Plan. And I just wanted to real quickly touch on the legislation that was passed in the summer about the third grade guarantee. And any student, we have to test by September 30th, reading levels and how students are performing. And then we set local cutoffs of where we expect students to be about that time of year. And then if students aren't there, we actually now are required to send a letter home that is letting parents know that students in K through 3 by early fall who are not on track to possibly be on third grade reading level by the end of third grade. Then the other part of that is if they do receive that letter, what the teachers are going to be working on, along with our literacy specialist and myself, is a RIMP, which we have to have for every student who right now is not on track, which is a reading improvement monitoring plan. And this all just came out this summer. We worked very hard. We feel good. We have all our data. We're ready to go. Teachers are going to be writing the RIMPs during the rest of October, and then give them in the parent conference nights at both Young and Roosevelt. And we're going to also, on those nights, have a 30-minute, at the start of each conference night, a 30-minute overview for any parents who would like more information so that, they don't feel like they can't get all these questions answered in a 15-minute conference. So we're going to try to address that. So this is new for all of us. It is supported by Race to the Top in the sense that it's about standards and teaching and learning, but we thought that it was a really good thing just to let you know that that's going to happen and it exists. The other things you've heard about, I'm going to go over them real quick and then take a little time on just a couple. The OTES and OPES, the Ohio Teacher Eval and the Ohio Principal Eval, then the box next to it, which is the SLO or SLOs, anybody that doesn't have test data, because we don't test every subject, those are the teachers who have to create those SLOs. The state has not rolled out staff development on that yet. That is coming, and so we hope to know more. So what they've put out is what we've shared with you, and hopefully we'll learn more as we go. The second line of the dark bolded is, the first one's FIP, which stands for Formative Instructional Practices, and assessments and learning targets. And our waiver days, the last couple, especially grades 7 through 12, they've been working very hard on how to identify learning targets, the specific thing that you would say, in this class today, here's the learning target. This is what you're going to leave being able to do. So how to break those down and make that very specific. And that formative instruction is about what feedback can I get from kids so I know where they are. So that guides my teaching, that guides their learning. And the Race to the Top works with Battelle for Kids in what they call FIP, which is the Formative Instructional Practices. They're online modules, which we will be making available. Some of our teachers have asked to view some of those. We have certain people trained already. Mary Meadows is trained, and a couple other teachers and myself, and we'll be working through that a little bit, but we've already started that work on our waiver days. The other thing's ELA, just to kind of remind you, in the new standards, they don't call it reading, writing, those kinds of things. They call it English Language Arts. So a lot of times you'll see ELA instead of the other, so just kind of to bring that up. And just to kind of share with you the Race to the Top money and how it's really helped us is there are 13 grades, K through 12, the 12 plus the K. There are 4 sets of new standards coming out for all of those. So that's 13 grade levels times 4 sets of new standards that we're all trying to get to the teachers to change everything so it's full implementation by next year. And this is our third year of kind of going through that. And we're right on target as far as, you know, being in that process, but that's a lot of new stuff to get out to teachers and still do what we need to do. So Race to the Top supports that, but that also is just kind of to bring awareness of what teachers are trying to do as they transition and what we're trying to do as a district. The next column that's bolded, just to kind of remind you, the state standards that are new are science and social studies. Those are Ohio written. And then the Common Core are the ELA and math, and there's about 46 states that have adopted those. So that's the 4 areas in 13 grades. The other things that we're working on, especially is the new standards, is the mapping, pacing guides, and assessments that we would be given in-house in order to track performance and see how we do. The last couple of rows, and I have to also say, Dustin is, whenever we go to something, we'll kind of share what we do, and they'll go, well, how do you do that? And we go, well, Dustin Boswell. And then they say, well, how do you do it? Well, Dustin Boswell. And I won't say what else I say, but can I say what else I say? He's 28. So, you know, he just, that's been just wonderful. So just to give you a little idea too, the administrators, when they decided to go to the certain form of OTES, there was a walkthrough form that was on the ODU website. And so it was like, well, maybe Dustin can put that on. And so he put that on. So I was talking at the last curriculum director meeting, and they were saying, what are you doing? And they go, well, how did you get that? And I said, well, Dustin Boswell, 28, you know. So anyway, he's been getting a lot of calls, like Mr. Stauffer said, about a lot of things. The iPads, for example, the number we have in this district, people are amazed that we can support that, both with, you know, just keeping them up and running, that they're, I don't know if bandwidth's the right word, but the bandwidth, and then also just syncing them, and again, saying, well, you know, he's figured out how to do that timely and not take a lot of time, and he helps us decide things. And whenever we do get together, I don't think there's a meeting hardly under 3 hours when we sit, and it's kind of like, well, Dustin, can we do, well, okay, and he just really, so a lot of what we have, it really does, he helps the creativity actually happen. iPads, with the Race to the Top, we rewrote part of our Race to the Top. We found out we could do this. We got approved this last summer. So we kind of combined some grants. This isn't all Race to the Top, but about half of it. This year we were able, we don't have them all yet, but hopefully before Christmas we will have 6 iPads in each K-3 classroom. And one of the things they'll be replacing is when you think of the old listening centers and everybody had the earphones and they all had the same book, well, now all the books are on the iPad, and they can go wherever they want in the room with the earphone and listen to it. So it becomes a listening center. Mr. Chenoweth has helped us take our books that are on tape, and he transfers them to CDs, and then the tech department puts them on the MP3 type format, and then we get them on the iPads. The iPads are also becoming math learning stations because we can do math manipulatives, like you saw last spring, and you're able to see those kinds of things. The other thing that we're going to put in our 4th through 8th grade English Language Arts classes are iPod Touches with e-books that kids can follow along. Also other apps that will support different things, and again, can go anywhere in the room. So that's being supported by Race to the Top. Then in math in grades 7 through 10, we have about 3 rooms right now, and we hope to expand that. The response systems, where the kids can, you know, respond right back right away. Instant formative assessment, where are we and where do we go? So we have 2 at the junior high, and I guess that's all we have right now. And then we're going to expand it into the high school. Dot cams, we're working on those. We're really trying to get them eventually. Our goal would be all English Language Arts classes. So for example, if you're teaching writing, oh, the student just did this, you put it under the dot cam, and you can talk about it right there. So we're really trying to be very specific. Projectors, we're trying to, right now K3 doesn't have very many of those. We're trying to get projectors. We have some smart boards, you saw that demonstrated last year. We don't have the funding right now to get enough smart boards. We'd love to have them in every room. But what we're hoping to do is the teacher can take the iPad if they don't have the smart board and do the same kind of thing, only it would be on the screen. So that's why we're trying to get the projector so we can still give that same capability. And then the last thing that Race to the Top is helping support, and it actually is going to help us buy some of the tech that goes with it, is the Singapore math that we're working on in K through 3rd grade. And the Singapore math, when the Common Core was being studied for the whole nation, they looked at Singapore because they've been in like the top 5 for the last several years. It was like, well, what did they do? And it's very rigorous, and it's very problem-based, and it's, even in kindergarten, you're kind of getting them into those mathematical practices. So we just had training yesterday for a second time on it as part of our waiver day. So Race to the Top is really supporting all those kinds of initiatives plus other things. Any questions? All right.
Thanks, Ann.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Denise.
All right. Item number 5, approval of minutes. It is recommended that the board approve the minutes of the regular meeting of September 18th, 2012, as in Exhibit 1.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mrs. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Dinkins,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mrs. Dodson.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item number 6, citizens' comments on agenda items. Citizens' comments on agenda items are welcome at this time. Seeing none. Item number 7, payment of bills. It is recommended that the board approve payment of bills for the month of September pending audit as in Exhibit 2.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mrs. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Dinkins,
Yes.
Mrs. Dodson,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item number 8, acceptance of financial reports. It is recommended that the board accept the financial reports from the treasurer for September 2012.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mrs. Dodson,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mr. Dinkins,
Yes.
Mrs. Collins.
Yes. Motion carried. Item number 9, personnel. It is recommended that the board approve the following personnel items. Item .91, volunteer advisor. Approve Michelle Warner and Mary Meadows as volunteer junior high student senate co-advisors. 9.2, employment. Employee Rachel Walker as a 2-hour cafeteria employee per the negotiated contract pending proper licensure effective September 17, 2012. Item number 9.3, employment. Employ the following as literacy leaders or substitutes for the 2012-13 school year. Salaries to be paid from federal grant funds. Debbie Cutright, Lynn Oliver, Tina LaFollette, Terry Owen Oakes, Tracy Cole, Nancy Aarons, Debbie Reed, Michelle Frola, Danielle Anderson, Michelle Nagel, and Leslie Rouse Simone. Item 9.4, employment. Employ Terry Owen Oakes as a classified substitute per the negotiated agreement pending proper licensure effective first day assigned.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mrs. Dodson,
Yes.
Mrs. Collins.
Yes.
Mr. Dinkins,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item number 10, it is recommended that the board accept a donation of an iPad for use in Mrs. Holtz's class at Roosevelt Elementary from the Civitan Club and Mr. Don Bell.
Before we vote, I have one correction. That's not actually for an iPad, that's for $400, which is going to be used to purchase an iPad.
Okay?
Okay, so some clarification
Do we have to
there.
amend that, or just,
We'll amend
it
it.
will amend it? Okay.
Amend it.
Okay. So
Accept a
moved.
donation of $400 for an iPad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. So moved.
Second that.
Roll call?
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mrs. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Dinkins,
Yes.
Mrs. Dodson.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item number 11, ALICE training. It is recommended that the board approve ALICE training for the district with Officer Jim McKnight.
So moved.
Second.
Question on this?
Yeah,
Just, is there an estimate of how long it'll take till we're all trained and stuff? Is it a year process? Is it?
gosh, with that Jim not being here,
6
with
months.
that Jim being here, I'm not sure.
It's gonna be a process, though. I guess
It
we
is.
I just wanna make sure people know this isn't gonna be one day of
Correct.
training and we're all trained. This is gonna be a long
Correct.
process.
Ongoing.
Okay,
It'll be ongoing.
all right.
I agree.
Mrs. Dodson,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mr. Dinkins,
Yes.
Mrs. Collins.
Yes. Motion carried. Item number 12, 5-year forecast. It is recommended that the board approve the 5-year forecast as in Exhibit 3.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mrs. Dodson,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mr. Dinkins,
Yes.
Mrs. Collins.
Yes. Motion carried. Item number 13, treasurer's report. We did that before, so we'll skip off that. Item number 14, business manager's report. Dan Laskos.
As Mr. Stauffer said, we did move the bus mechanics, parts, and equipment over to the garage site at Old Waterloo Road. There's still some items necessary there, outside electric for the bus heaters, and then some outside security lighting. I think there's a few big items still to move in the garage that Ryan and Davey will need, but they're up and running and doing the maintenance out of that facility for October. We did, turn on the boilers for these chilly nights, and, as always, we get some steam leaks, Roosevelt and High School. But we did find at the high school during the abatement process this summer that the company did cut some air lines to the thermostats in about 8 classrooms, so the building was overheating, and Regency Construction is taking care of the matters with the abatement company to fix those. October is a reporting month for the T1 transportation reports that do the ridership and mileage. We'll be working on that, and also the audit of the free and reduced lunch applications happen in October. But looking at preliminary numbers, the cafeteria looks like it's doing very well.
The new system has made a major impact.
Yeah, and I think more parents are catching on with, putting money in the account, either with a credit card, they can send in a check or cash, but the students seem to be,
Another use of technology.
Really good.
I will say this, as a parent of 2 children in the district, it's great. I mean, if, my son typically packs, but every once in a while he wants to buy, and we gave him money early on, and we don't have to worry about it.
You can find out what he's eating too.
I haven't thought about that yet.
Maybe you don't want to.
But no, it's fabulous so
Are
far,
the
from my
kindergartners
perspective.
doing a little better now?
A little better. We've given them scan cards because they have trouble remembering the 6-digit number, but a lot of them are learning. They'll have it for 12 more years, that number.
That same number, so that's a good idea, yeah.
Don't change them, Dustin. So, anyhow, any other questions? That's what's going on.
When they cut those lines for the HVAC pneumatic controls, was those plastic or steel?
I believe they're steel.
Oh, are they?
What it looked like to me in the pictures that I saw.
For the, which control the thermostats,
Right.
and they're not working, so everything's overheating, but.
Yeah, that's before the age of plastic, I guess.
They look, in the pictures that I saw that were emailed, they look steel.
We suffer through one more winter.
That's right.
Yeah, we gotta keep the grate, at least from that one coal boiler from that high school, because that's, they don't make them like that anymore.
Okay.
Thank you, Dan. All right, we'll skip number 15 unless you have more to say.
I do have a few other
Okay.
things. Like I said, district report card is released tomorrow. We expect to be excellent.
I found it online if you'd like to announce.
Oh, it's already there. Terrific.
It's not, but it's in our secure data, and I finally found it. So you can announce.
Earlier
Okay,
today,
very
is
good.
not till tomorrow.
As of right now, it's online. Springfield Local Schools District rating, excellent once again. 4 out of 5 years. Great job, everybody. Thanks, Ann. And a lot of hard work goes into that. The Spartan marching band was on Channel 8 last Friday. They did an outstanding job, and they were featured several times throughout the morning. We are doing community tours of the new junior high school. We had 2 of them set up, one of them for November the 3rd, the other one for November the 17th. Those are Saturdays at 8 in the morning. The November 3rd one is full already. We're taking up to 50 people. That one's full. We have about 25 slots left still for the 17th. Wanda Beasley asked me to make an announcement, and I'll do it at the tour also. On November the 3rd, the Springfield Women's Club is selling bricks for the Academic Foundation, $20 donation for bricks. They'll have those on sale on the 3rd at their bazaar. Also, you'll be able to order bricks from the Central Building that's coming down this summer at that time also. So if you would like, please support that great charity because it benefits our kids here with the scholarship fund. Last night at Quaker Square, Dina Scrimo was named to the all-county teaching team. Dina does a fantastic job for her. She's a kindergarten teacher at Roosevelt. Also, Annie Knight, who is an intervention tutor for us at the high school last year, was named to the all-rookie team. Annie, unfortunately, it was bittersweet. She no longer is with us. She moved on to a full-time job over in Wayne County at the Joint Vocational School. But it was nice seeing Annie again. She did a wonderful job for us. Our final home game, as Kevin said, is Friday night, and that's senior night. The board, we have a work session, don't forget, on October the 27th at 8 a.m. here. Our bid opening for the technology and furniture packages is November the 1st at 1 p.m. here. And our next board meeting, I think it's on November the 20th. So lots of things going on, but lots of positive things.
Sorry.
No problem.
Okay. Item number 16, items worthy of your note. October 26th is the end of the first quarter. November 1st, high school in Spring Hill report card pickup from 4 to 7 p.m. November 6th is a waiver day, no school for students. November 8th is the Roosevelt conferences from 4 to 7 p.m. Also the Young conferences from 4 to 8 p.m. on November 8th. On November 13, Roosevelt conferences again, 4 to 7 p.m., and the Young conferences from 4 to 8 p.m. again on November 13th. November 20th is the next regular Board of Education meeting. That is here.
It is here.
Here in the board office. And November 22nd through the 26th is the Thanksgiving break. Item number 17, citizens' comments. Seeing none?
If
Any
none of
board
them
members?
have a comment, I sure do. On the 8th of October, 4 of my classmates and myself took a tour of the high school, and I tell you what, they were so excited. We'll be celebrating our, I hate to say it, our 50th class reunion next year, and it will be in the new building.
It'll be a nice homecoming.
Yeah. I was not in town last week for the band but I do have it recorded, so I haven't been able to watch it yet, but I heard they did an outstanding job.
They represented the district well. They made all of us proud.
That's all I have.
Okay. Item number 18, adjournment. It is recommended that the meeting be adjourned at this time.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
What time is it?
7:16.
7:15.
7:19.
Who's second?
Bobby.
Mrs. Collins?
Yes.
Mrs. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Stalling.
Lost it by a minute.
Who had 7:15?
7:16.
Very good. Thanks, everybody, for being here.